Oh, well, ain't this a pretty sight? I got a email notification from my own email about me going live. Can I edit this? I wonder if I can. Let me see here. Ugh. All right. Let's see if we can connect. It seems like the audio is not great on here. So I am going to see if I can connect this old thing. If it's not dead. Is it dead? Son of a... Wow. Well, that's a bummer. Yes, everything that requires power is dead. Where is it coming from? I don't know. Oh, wait. Is it on now? Yeah, maybe it's just lagging. So weird. But I'm going to try it. See if this works so that the audio is a little better. You going to turn on? You going to turn on? Hello? Yeah, these both might be dead. Oh, well. Hopefully you can hear me. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. And if not, I can plug in my other microphone, which I might have to do anyways. But we got one person in here. I just got off another live stream for various other reasons. Oh, they're gone. Sweet. No love on the YouTube live today. To be fair, I did not promote this at all. It was a last minute decision to do this. And I'm digging through my bag and aimlessly trying to figure out what I'm doing with this. 2 people now. What's up, everybody? What's going on? I will address you more formally in just a moment, but hopefully this will take care of the audio problem. If there is one, let me know. And if not, yes, allow. Hello? 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 Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Well, to be honest, I cannot tell what the audio is like, if this is even working. So please let me know if it's happening. So the lead in to the discussion about IPAs and craft beer. I can't believe I've been on for 4 minutes and there's 0 people in here. It's pretty weird. But craft beer discussion 101 always starts with a nice hefty Budweiser, which, by the way, I do enjoy this beer. For anybody that has not had a Budweiser in a long time, I recommend it. It is not the best beer in the world. It's not the worst beer in the world, but it is a nice, clean lager that is always satisfying. Now, for the real topic of discussion, which again, this is totally ad hoc, totally last minute. Please, the one person that's in here, let me know if the audio is okay. I don't know if this mic is working or not, but if it is not, I can unplug it and try to, and they're gone. Cool. But my nose is all stopped up. My nose is feels like it's super congested because I dusted earlier and got all the particulates of my skin in my nose. Okay, boom, Stone IPA. We're going to talk about it because I have some thoughts on the state of craft beer as well as IPAs and the resurgence or lack of resurgence. So let's dig into it. Man, lots of congestion. I love this beer. I absolutely love it. And there's a reason that it is one of the quintessential craft beers. It is delicious. It is bitter. It is floral. It is citrusy. And it is big. See how big it is? It's 19 ounces. It's a big deal. But the reason I wanted to talk about this is because I've been going through a little craft beer, not even craft beer, just like an IPA renaissance where my palate has been calling me to drink IPAs for whatever reason. And so I have been, and I've had quite a few. I've really enjoyed them, and I will continue to drink them in moderation, of course. But I wanted to talk about why I think that I'm interested in IPA right now, and I wanted to talk about what I think is going on with craft beer. And my opinion is I have come full circle from the beginning of my drinking career where I only wanted light beers, light lager, whatever I was predisposed to as a child, to trying it amber or a nice pale ale, whatever it was, all the way to the double IPA and the Belgian beers and everything else that's extremely overly done, to ultimately coming back to lager and wanting to go more simplistic and lighter drinking habits, things like that. And then my palate was kind of craving something that was more aggressive, more assertive. And I love classic West Coast IPAs. It's what I crave really with beer now. It's the only thing that I really crave in beer now other than a nice Pils. But yeah, I think that is just because we've deviated from this style significantly. We have kind of moved away from it. We've gone more juicy, hazy, and have, really like shunned the idea of bitterness and the idea of like old classic styles, which, I felt that way when I grew up in craft beer. Where I was like, oh, you want an amber old man? That's a pretty old, outdated style. But you end up liking the nuance of these beers, and not that a Stone IPA is nuanced or like, balanced or, subtle in any way, but it definitely grows on you as time goes on, and you want to go back to those old favorites. And so that's where I'm at right now. I'm stuck in the I like drinking IPAs in 2011 category. So that's where I'm at currently. And what I think it says about craft beer in general is the industry has seen every sort of innovation as far as flavors are concerned with beer. So we have seen all of the development in malting, kilning and creating malts, so the sugar source and other adjuncts, right? We've seen the gambit of sugar sources in beer, from honey to fruit to all the malted grains and anything in between. We've seen hop growers and farmers grow these insanely potent, awesome, nuanced, wildly different varietals of hops for years. And for anybody that doesn't know, growing hops and creating like a new varietal takes like 15 years to bring it to market. So it's quite an amazing feat. But we've seen all these things develop in the hop market. We've seen so much happen in the yeast market. We've had so many small developers pop up and do GMO yeast strains that don't produce diacetyl, that only ferment maltotriose or are maltose negative or whatever it is. Like there's so many innovations that have happened in yeast, including dry yeast, which I'm a huge proponent of now, which I was not years ago, but huge proponent of dry yeast. Sorry, I've got huge congestion from dusting earlier for some reason. But yeah, big proponent of dry yeast and all these amazing progressive hops. But we've seen all of the flavor combinations, right? Like we saw craft beer go up like this, and then the market got everything that it wanted. Every single variety of hop and malt and yeast was used in every imaginable combination. And then we kind of said, it's a lot. It's a lot of things. And I think that is fair for a market to do, myself included, where you're like, that's kind of too much for me to process and understand. So naturally, we start peeling away from that and wanting something more simple and more predictable. And I think that's what has happened in the craft beer market. All the other things notwithstanding, the reduction of drinking in general amongst the total population, the reduction or abstaining from drinking at all from Gen Z and Gen Alpha, whatever letters are associated with them. And I think that's where we're at right now, where there are a group of people that kind of built this industry in the last 30 years or whatever that have, prided themselves on being innovative and creative and making things happen that seem kind of outside the box and outside the norm, and fed that to a market that was hungry for it and wanted it. And now there's less of a demand, less of a market that wants that sort of thing. And so people kind of lose steam and are like, I guess we'll just make IPA or we'll make pills or whatever it is and just kind of rest on your laurels, because the innovation and creativity does not drive sales and drive growth of a business. So that's just my perspective on craft beer. This is not a unique one. This is one that is shared by many, and I'm just regurgitating it here now as I drink a delicious ice cold Stone IPA. And even though there's nobody in here listening, I'm still going to ramble. I'm still going to talk because I want to. It's my life. I can do what I want. There was something else I was going to talk about. Oh yeah, I guess an update on my life. I am brewing, and I probably should make a video about this, but I am hesitant to re-engage or re-stoke the fire that is the brewing world on YouTube. But I am technically brewing as a profession right now. I started brewing I was consulting with a brewery out in Spicewood, Texas, about an hour outside of Austin, Highway 71 Brewing. Shout out. Y'all should go check them out if you're ever in the Hill Country. And I got their whole system set up and built out, the beer program and made recipes and did their trial batches and stuff. And that kind of evolved into me like brewing. So now I'm brewing there, producing all the beer that is sold there, but trying to keep a low profile because I don't really want to, I don't really want to be brewing, especially not in like a public sphere anymore. I'd rather just make beer when I can and build out their program. And so far it's been received really well. The people out there really like it. It's a pretty simple portfolio. It's like a pale ale, American lager, Mexican lager, IPA, double dry hop IPA, Hefeweizen, and amber and a blonde. So nothing crazy, pretty standard craft beer classics, but all of them have been received well. People like them, so that's cool. And that's nice. And I wish that was what I wanted to do every day. I really do. I think about it a lot. I have all these skills and knowledge and experience in this particular space that I loved for so long. Still do. Still love the industry. Still love beer, but I just wish that it made I wish that it made for a financially fruitful endeavor, either doing that or starting one of these businesses, i.e., a brew pub or production brewery, whatever. And unfortunately, that is not necessarily the case, and that's okay. So I came to terms with that. And when I closed Tanglefoot, I decided that that was okay. That I can kind of sever my emotional ties with the industry and kind of move on. And now I feel like I'm sort of circling back to where, yeah, I'm technically brewing again. I am actually producing beer for a brewery that exists. And I am thinking about beer more because of that. And so it kind of fires up that engine again of like, how can I make this work? What did I miss? Is there an opportunity in here with the knowledge and experience that I have? And I don't know the answer to that. And I don't think that there really is an answer to that. I think that my initial observations about the industry and what I want to achieve in business financially is not necessarily aligned. But if there was an opportunity in the space that I thought was aligned with my goals, I think I would pursue it, honestly, because I have so much experience and so many thoughts, and I think about making content all the time. I know that's kind of a weird that's a weird tangent, but I'm on here live at 8:26, and again, I'm sorry about the sniffing. My nose is completely stopped up, but I'm on here at 8:26 on a Thursday night, drinking an IPA and talking about beer for no other reason than I want to. And my girlfriend's out of the house, so that's easy. It makes it much easier to just jump on live and look like an idiot. But I'm on here doing this because I really want to make content. And the thing that I know most about and think most about is often beer and the beer industry. And so that's, it's a conundrum. It's a catch-22 because I could talk about this all day long and I could have dialogue with people. I could give my opinion. I could give analyses. I could whatever. I could build a brewery. I could talk about building breweries. I could talk about monetizing in breweries. But I don't know. I feel pretty jaded about it. And yet I'm on here live at 8:27 now on a Thursday, drinking a Stone IPA and talking about beer. So what are you going to do? I went live on another platform just before this, just for shits and giggles. And yeah, so then I was like, you know what? I need to show some YouTube love. The whole point of this rambling in the last 30 seconds was I think about making content all the time, and I am trying to make content. I'm on TikTok. I make a TikTok video every day, at least for the next month. I wanted to make a TikTok every day for 180 days straight. And I want to make more YouTube content. I'm actually actively helping somebody, a friend of mine, with her YouTube channel. And it's really rewarding, and I love doing it. What's up, Denoid? IPA from the Czech Purist. Yep. Yeah, this whole you can go back and watch this whole sniffly ramble of a live. But yeah, I started off by talking about IPAs in the craft beer industry. And now I'm just talking about this is a therapy session of me talking about why I have shied away from the beer industry and why it still has its tendrils in me and wants me to come back. But the long and short of it is I want to continue to make content. I have shown that making content that is outside of beer on this particular channel is challenging. It's not impossible because I have made a video that has gotten consistent growth from a completely different audience than just beer. But I don't know, man. I just want to do all the things that I'm interested in. And so maybe I'll continue to make beer content. Maybe I'll continue to make food content and other types of content as I see fit on this channel. But I think the big crux of it is I felt like I was painted in a corner in the beer industry specifically for a number of different reasons, but I have other interests and other goals outside of just making beer, and that's okay. And I think that talking about that on here is also okay. And I think there's a lot of like-minded people that follow me and enjoy hearing my perspective and other perspectives on different things. So hopefully that's the case, and if not, sorry. But on a positive note, I have my camera connected to my live stream, which was a huge challenge for me. So we nailed it. YouTube is super difficult. I haven't been watching much BeerTube stuff for a while. Yeah, and I have been so YouTube specifically is I'm so bullish on. I just can't think of another place that I would want to spend more time and effort in learning right now than YouTube. I think YouTube is just a massive, massive opportunity for the next 10 years. It's just going to continue to grow. More people are going to watch it. People watch more YouTube on their TVs than they do on their laptops, which is crazy for those of you that aren't in YouTube land. And so having said all that, I think about YouTube and watch YouTube all the time. And the thing that is crucial is to, if the goal is to, let's say, grow and get views and subscribers, which is kind of not the point, unless there's very specific circumstances. But let's say that is the goal, then finding a niche where there's a lack of supply for the demand of people that are looking to consume this. Finding a niche where that is the case, and then producing content for that niche in a consistent fashion. The beer niche is not necessarily that. It is interesting too, because you think how many people are homebrewers, how many people are like beer enthusiasts. The beer tube niche is actually like pretty weak compared to other niches from my perspective. Like I've seen some niches that are like the crochet niche is crazy, which is weird. It's like, who on here crochets? But that's a crazy niche. Stories like of ancient history is a huge niche. Have I been keeping up with home brewing? Have I been keeping up with brewing at home? No, I haven't brewed at home in years. But I have thought about making a homebrew video because part of me wants to. True crime is huge. Yeah. True crime's huge. Sports is huge, obviously. Tons of niches, but no, homebrewing is I don't know. I always had a weird relationship with homebrewing. Like I liked to do it before I was a professional, and as soon as I turned professional, I stopped because I was like, oh, I can make beer better at work than at home. And the homebrewing, which sucks because the homebrewing niche on YouTube is what got me into beer. It's what got me into brewing. I found a beer. I liked it. I went and searched it. I think, what was it, Chris's beer review? Whoever the beer reviewer was at the time, I watched their review of the beer that I had that I liked, and then got into the brewing side of things. And then I found, who did I find? Who was the first one? Craig Tube, the Canadian dude that was brewing Cooper's beer kits. And then I found a few other homebrew channels, and then I started homebrewing myself, and then I started learning from other sources, and then I got a job in the industry, and then it all snowballed up. Kit beer, dude. Yeah. Kit beer is it's an interesting thing, but there's a place for it, right? Something wrong with a little kit beer. He's kind of awesome and doesn't give a fuck. You're saying that's a different channel. Yeah, I'll check it out. Yeah, man, I don't know. The homebrewing's weird, and especially with all this, like, I don't know, this retraction or recession of people homebrewing, and I don't know, just like people less interested in alcohol, period, plus people less interested in homebrew, period, combined, just makes it seem like it's just kind of a bummer. But yeah, Craig Tube. It's definitely Craig Tube. Yeah, he was dope. But it's just a weird time and place, and I know like things come back around, but it does make you think. Like for an example, and this obviously this is only going out to 2 people right now, but I'm sure somebody will watch this replay. But my story is I was 19, 20 years old, and I went to culinary school, and I got into a restaurant, and I started working in a restaurant, and I found craft beer. Between friends and coworkers, it was exposed to me, right? Like I saw that beer could be more than Miller Lite, which is great. And then I got exposed to homebrewing in that same environment. And then I took the plunge and like started learning and went down the rabbit hole, and was like the best part of my 20s was like learning about beer and brewing beer and sharing beer with friends and talking about beer. And it was like obviously all this stems from like, hey, we like drinking alcohol and borderline are alcoholics, but the experience of doing that and the camaraderie and having something to share and talk about with people is so immensely powerful and good and positive in life. And to see that kind of dwindle in myself and other people, like society just being less and less interested in that, I think is it's a net negative. I think that drinking alcohol, the reduction of drinking alcohol is probably a net positive health wise, but I think the sharing of drinks at a bar at 9 o'clock at night with a group of friends, that on the decline is a net negative for society. And I think that craft beer gave us a reason to do that, and that's why I'm ever indebted to Stone IPA. Stone IPA is a sponsor of this video. Not really. They're not, and they have evolved and changed significantly over the years. But yeah, Denoid, what's your story, man? What's going on in your world? You still following the homebrew channels, or you still homebrewing? You still drinking? What's the word? Or anybody that's in here. It says we got 3 people in here now, so if anybody in here is interested in leaving a comment or talking about anything, do so. If not, that's cool too. I'm just chilling here with my nose stopped up and drinking a Stone IPA. Basic Brewing, I think, was one of the first things I started watching. This old dude's kind of warm my brewing hearts. Yeah. I don't know if I know Basic Brewing specifically, but yeah, I think about those old YouTube channels and those old, homebrewers / beer reviewers. I don't know why I keep like speculating. I'm just gonna Google it right. I have my computer right in front of me, so I'm gonna Google what it was. I'm pretty sure definitely Craig Tube, apartment brewer. Yeah, that wasn't my generation, but so there was, for me, like I watched a lot of beer review stuff because I appreciated talking about beer and comparing notes and stuff. So I watched like Better Beer Authority. That was like a little series. It was kind of goofy. The guys could be a little corny, but it was a good time. I just searched beer reviews, and this live stream right now popped up on the search. So that's cool. That's a little validating. But what was it? Chris's beer reviews? Damn. Yeah, Homebrew for Life, putting out his old content on his new channel. His stuff is so funny, but I've never brewed like him. Yeah, Homebrew for Life. Chris is did I say Chris? Yeah, CH. He's a good dude. I say that. I've never met him in person, but I like him. And I like his channel. and I appreciate all the work that he's done for his audience, because it is a lot of work and it's a lot of headache to produce these videos that take, like, a normal YouTube video, whatever, you can take a long time. But anything fermentation related is like, hey, let's hurry up and film this and then wait for the shit to happen. It's a lot. And I personally have never done it like that, because I don't know. I think I'm pretty impatient. Maybe I should. Maybe home brewing is due for a resurgence, and maybe beer in general is due for a resurgence. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe we're all due for our passions to resurge. Is that a word? Is that a phrase? Anyways, what was beer review? Beer review. I swear this guy's name was Chris. Anyways, I used to watch this guy all the time, and in fact, here's one full circle moment for those that are watching. Now we got 8 people in here now. What's up, everybody? Full circle moment is when, and they're all gone. They're all gone now. When Chad's beer review. I don't know if y'all watch Chad's beer review, but like I used to watch Chad's beer review, and very low production quality, whatever. This dude, pretty goofy guy, but he was super, had really good opinions on beers. He followed me on Instagram, and I was like, holy shit, is this like the peak of my career? It's just so cool, because it was like probably 11 years, 10 years for me getting in the industry to doing that. Yo, I've been planning a brew day. Going with real old school West Coast IPA. Oh, you mean like a Stone IPA? Hell yeah, brother. Chinook, Centennial, Simcoe, yum. If you can brew it, check and review it. Yep, that's true. I love it. It was like, seriously, it was like one of the highlights of my career. I was like, holy shit, Chad's beer review is following me. It's awesome. Yeah, go old school, man. Chinook, Centennial, and Simcoe. That sounds fucking great. I would drink that. That's probably what's in here. This is Magnum, Chinook, Centennial, Azaka, Calypso, Ella, Vic Secret. Okay, that's a lot. A lot of different types of hops. I think that you've got, you're probably better off using 3 hops like you just described. But these beers, these West Coast IPAs, I can't get enough of them right now. I know, it's classic. Having said that, another beer that I can't get enough of, that I think is an amazing beer on the market that I never hear anybody talk about, is Mountain Standard IPA from Odell. Just a fantastic beer, kind of a smooth, balanced, slightly juicy-ish IPA. Solid. Yes, too many. Yeah, it's too many number of hops. Like, it's fine. I get each of those things they have their own contribution, but what do y'all think of the Bog Standard? I don't know what that is. I don't know what's up with breweries calling any clear IPA as a West Coast, like an all 2-row Mosaic Citric. Yeah, definitely not. Yeah. Didn't realize people were doing that. Oh, Lagunitas IPA. I really like Lagunitas IPA. This is a great talking point, and I love that there's 2 people that are interested in this conversation here. These are my favorite IPAs, standard IPAs. Stone IPA, obviously, this is in no particular order. Stone IPA, solid. I have it right here. It's readily available, mass-produced, very, very solid. Sierra Nevada Pale Ale is not an IPA, but I would put it in that category of like a hoppy thing that I like to drink. There's a local brewery here called Independence. They produce a beer called Stash. Solid, readily available. There's another brewery in Texas called Deep Ellum IPA. Or, I'm sorry, the brewery is called Deep Ellum. Their IPA is Deep Ellum IPA. Solid. The Mercenary from Odell. Odell makes solid stuff. Love everything they do. And I swear, enunciating properly because I'm drunk. I am slightly buzzed, but my nose is completely stopped up. I really like. I do like Lagunitas IPA actually. Here's one that nobody's ever heard of: Pliny the Elder. That's a really good one. Pliny the Elder is really, really solid. JK, obviously, everybody knows Pliny. It's amazing. Sierra Nevada Torpedo is also dope. Ballast Point Sculpin is great. I am so uncertain about Ballast. Like, where is it? Are they still producing? I haven't seen it in so long, and it may be because I'm not looking. Pliny's great. I also like. There's some classics that I just, if I was offered, I won't turn it. Like I won't turn down a Dale's Pale Ale. I love it. I really like. What's the one with shit? I said Mountain Standard. What's Odell's original IPA? I said Mercy. I've said too many Odells. Every Odell beer is great. We don't get anything slightly small scale here in Canada. A lot of these bangers we don't get up here. Yeah, no, for sure. But what do you get up there? Do you not get Stone IPA? You have to get Stone IPA. I mean, this is, I'd say pound for pound, this is as good as any like very large mass produced IPA. There's nothing that beats it. Celebration is great too. I really like that. Make IPA bitter again. Yeah, for sure. Make hazy IPA bitter. It's great. You get the juiciness and the haze. Make everything better. What's another Stone, Arrogant Bastard. Not a real pleasant beer, but it is kind of one of those. Oh, I remember the time when that was a thing that we did. We made things overly bitter and excessively in your face. But having said that, the market went way further than Stone did. Now it seems like kind of a moderately bitter amber ale, whatever it is, whatever style it is. Key player in the IBU war, yeah, for sure. Then what was it? Green Flash had the pallet wrecker. That thing was nuts. So another IPA story. Now that we're talking about IPAs, I worked at Black Star Co-op. It's a brew pub here in Austin, Texas. They had a great beer selection relative to the industry, relative to the market in the industry at the time. We got a keg of Chasin' Freshies from Deschutes, which was probably top 5 beer experiences for me. The beer was good. It wasn't like the most amazing beer in the world, but we all got around and drank the beer and we're like, this is so tasty that we all stayed after work and drank pints of it. And I remember that being, again, all of these conversations about beer. Yeah, it starts with taste, but ultimately it's like the camaraderie and the emotions and the memories that you build because of the beer. Prepping for a lager tear. Hop tariff war is brutal. Yeah, do it. Fucking lager's the best. Love IPAs. Lager's the best. Hop Stupid and Maximus, yeah. 22-ounce bottles. WTF ever happened to Bombers? Anyway, Bombers kind of suck as a package. Like bottles in general, glass bottles kind of suck, but they're manageable on 12 ounces because like people drink them and they throw them away. But a 22-ounce Bomber is like, people don't want to buy that. They don't want to pay the premium, and it's a awkward hunk of glass. It's just a weird thing. But this is like 19 ounces. Stone IPA. Yeah, I didn't really go through I guess I did get a few Bombers, but all the Bombers I ever got they were all like stouts. They were all like aged beer. So my complaint that I was going to say about bombers was like if you have a big glass bottle, it warms up like significantly as you're drinking that. To be fair, this does too, but that was always my big sticking point with that. Is Stone still doing Enjoy By? I think so. Yeah, they've got cases in Costco. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's like a yellow can. Stone Enjoy By with cursive. Or no, what am I thinking of? No, maybe they aren't. What am I thinking of? Stone Easy IPA? No, Delicious. That's what I'm thinking of. Stone Delicious. They have those in Costco, and they're like all over the place. I think a buddy of mine bought a 6-pack or something for like $8. It's like, how the fuck are they making money? Spoiler alert, they're not. Actually, I can neither confirm nor deny that anybody in any business is making money. This is just my opinions. This is not an FCC regulated live stream, unfortunately. Yeah, Enjoy By was one they would do a couple times a year, and they would make shelf life like 3 to 4 weeks. Yeah, it was. I loved it. Loved it. The first couple of times they did it, it was great, and I'm sure it was great further on. But first couple of times they did it, felt like it was like kind of peak craft beer, and it felt like something special. Yeah, Best Buy for sure. Yeah, man. A lot of the again, 20, 2010 to 2017 craft beer was peak. I mean, it ramped up in that time, but peak as far as the exposure of, well, I'll speak for me. Peak for me because I was going through my journey and experiencing things. But I would say also peak experimental phase, like different formats, different concepts, different breweries opening up, different types of people getting into craft beer, different events, and everything was kind of new and interesting. And now it's a mature business. It's a mature industry. So a lot of stuff has flattened out because of that. Like the market has seen and been exposed to craft beer for a long time. You guys get Canadian beer there? Steam Whistle? No Steam Whistle, but I know of Steam Whistle, and I really appreciate what they do as a business. I think it's awesome. Agree. I turned 21 and 12 and went straight to craft when I could buy my own. That was peak craft beer. Yeah, I turned 21 and 11, so we are very close to the same age. Turned 20 when I lived in Arizona. Got into home brewing and drinking craft beer. Turned 21 and 11. And then went apeshit, did all the stuff, and moved back to Austin to go work at a brewery, and found a brewery, and then lived my dream for the next 10 years. It was pretty dope. Fan of Three Floyds. Yeah, we don't get Three Floyds here, but I've had Zombie Dust and Dark Lord a couple of times. Trying to think, what's the other one that got? Maybe it is Zombie Dust, like something that is pretty prolific and widespread, but it's still special. I think it's Zombie Dust up there. Yeah, that's probably it. Three Floyds does good Oktoberfest. It is Oktoberfest time. I think it is technically Oktoberfest right now. I think is today the first day. Let's check it out. No, it was Saturday. So I was there in 2022, 23. We went to Prague for a week and then took a train down to Munich to Oktoberfest. It was dope. Steam Whistle is all in my feed right now. Our other green bottle beer leader is Moosehead ditching bottles for cans. Steam Whistle is getting some shine, saying that they'll keep bottles as long as they can. Prague is dope. Prague is hands down one of the best places I've ever visited. Yeah, the bottle game is weird because it's only driven by nostalgia, which is cool because there's a place for nostalgia, but there's no other reason to bottle. It's more expensive, it's more breakage, it's more cumbersome and annoying, it's more expensive. I mean, arguably looks better and is nostalgic. Would love to go back. Yeah, definitely go back. I want to go back a lot. I think about it a lot. My girlfriend and I went there, and we were busy moving around, just doing beer stuff. But I would like to go back and go out into the kind of the outskirts and go into nature and hike and do some other stuff other than just drinking beer. Yeah, shipping weight for sure is a huge part of it, and the breakage. People don't think about that. Like you have a glass bottle, a pallet of glass bottles that falls over, you lose most of them, right? Like they break. Say, when a pallet of cans falls over, you lose a lot of them, but the glass doesn't shard and go everywhere and present a dangerous working environment. Haven't made it to the continent yet, but the wife and I want to do a big trip that ends in Oktoberfest. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Oktoberfest was a little. I mean, I think I have a video on this somewhere in the YouTube zeitgeist of my channel. I talked about it, but the Oktoberfest experience was wild. It was overwhelming and not. Yeah, I don't know. Not something that I would want to go back to. Like if I was in Europe and it was happening, I would definitely go, but I wouldn't like go specifically to it. It's pretty crazy. Big drinking fest, which you can imagine. Graham Bill suggests for a Westie, I'm thinking 80% pale, 10% light Munich, 5% wheat for head retention. I mean, I don't know about the Munich specifically. I mean, I guess that'd be fine. I would, yeah. I mean, I guess that's fine. What percent? I don't have a very specific, or maybe Denoid's asking Matt. My perspective is West Coast IPAs. I've always said, am I going for like a Pliny or something that is on the lighter end of the spectrum, and it's just going to be light, nothing, blah blah blah, or like a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, which has some caramel, has some color, has some body. So define that first. The Munich, I mean, maybe I would pull that down to like 5%, and then maybe put in 2% caramel malt, something to get the color, the little bit of sweetness, because you don't want to dry it out too much. Like there are some examples of West Coast IPAs being like bone dry, but a lot of them still have some rounded malt character, which I personally like. Like a really nice middle note of like, like 20 Lovabond, 20 SRM caramel malt as like a middle note of sweetness to balance off 80 IBUs, I think is always nice. No, I think shying away from crystal malts is a big mistake. I think having some crystal malts in there, don't go 20%, but like maybe 2%, 3%. Mean Brews is a great channel for analytics. I don't know Mean Brews. Hold the fort real quick. I'm going to set the microphone here. If you have any questions, just ask it right into the microphone, and I'll be back in just a second. Jingus. I haven't had to pee that bad in 130 days. That's crazy. All right, what's up, chat? Yeah, and very low amounts it can work. Or I never like crystal malts. Probably why I don't like many British beers. Low amounts it can work. Very low, like 2%. Yeah, L60 or less for sure. Definitely recommend that. I have never tried something like a Caribbean or Carahel. Carahel is awesome, by the way. I love Carahel. Anything environment in that lower range, I really like. Only times I've liked British beers in a while. You know what? Let's do. Maybe I can do this. Let me pull up my beer tools and see if I can share some nuggets with you. Get out of here. Man, I wish I had the login to the old Black Star account. But just as a reference, a pale ale that I brewed for those of you that missed the beginning of the stream, I'm technically brewing again, not kind of by default, but I'm enjoying it. But I was consulting with this brewery. I got them kind of off the ground. We built the brewery and put the tanks in and all that stuff. And now I am building their beer program and subsequently brewing the beer. And so I built some recipes for them. And I also have a lot of recipes from other brewing experiences that I can pull on. But having said all that, I've got the recipes pulled up here on Beer Tools. And the pale ale that we brewed, the recipe looks something like this. Why won't it let me? Pale ale is 94%, 95% almost. Kira Munich Type 1, which is, let's see. Nope. Pull up. Kira Munich Type 1 is like a 35 Lovibond, and that's the grain bill. So we've got 5% Kira Munich Type 1 and 95% pale ale, which, to be fair, this particular pale ale that I used is a little bit darker than I would have liked. So it's slightly darker than I would have liked. But if this had been like Pilsner malt or pale malt from Byerman or whatever, I think it would be a very, very solid base to build a pale ale on. And so if you want to do an IPA, obviously scale that up. But let's see. What did I miss? I've never tried something like that. British beers. Do you miss having your brewery? That is, wow, that's a loaded question. The short answer is no. And I'll explain it real quick after I read I use Brewfather. I also use Brewfather. Tossed a pound of Carahel into different types of rye IPA and turned it red. I've got some thoughts on rye IPA too. I'll go into it in a minute. I've done Kira Munich Type 1 in the Pale Ale. Denoid, never used. Red X. It's pretty nice. Okay. Do I miss my brewery? The short answer is no. Long answer is sort of, but for different reasons than I initially thought. So I do not miss the day-to-day. I do not miss the actions of like making the beer and getting the beer ready. And so I definitely don't miss working the tap room, like physically working the tap room. And contrary to popular belief, I don't miss the attention and the not accolades, but like the attaboys and the everybody wanted to talk about beer and tell me how much they like the beer, which I'm not like tooting my own horn, but like people like the beer and they would tell me. But what I do miss is the doing something that I'm good at and thinking that I was putting a product into the market that was better than everybody else's. I mean, I truly felt that I was doing something that was special. And objectively speaking, it may or may not have been compared to your favorite brewery or whatever. But I felt like I was doing something that was meaningful to me for the experience that I had, the things that I had done in my career to that point, and I wanted to put it on the plate, so to speak. But yeah, I don't miss the grind of it, and I don't miss the lack of financial opportunity. I always felt torn with that. I knew going into it was going to be a struggle, but I always felt really torn with the idea of like, I don't know anybody that's really making a lot of money in this industry, especially not at the production level. And so that was always kind of in the back of my mind. And I was like, every small entrepreneur, like, oh, I can do it. I can fix it. I can figure it out. But ultimately, it just ended up being like, hey, I want to pursue something in my life now that does make money. And the opportunity there is not high. Is it possible? Yeah, I'm sure there is an example, but I just did not believe that was the path forward for me. Haven't used Redx yet. I can't wait to try that, especially that people are saying was better than Carafoam. We tend to get things a bit later from suppliers. Do you think it would have stayed open longer if you were in a different market? I think so, but I also think that it was a good thing that I was in a bad market. I think about a year, if we want to go deep with it, about a year, maybe 6 months to a year in, I think I said this on one of my videos. And just to clarify on the most recent question, Temple is quite small. Temple's about 100,000 people, so it's not like super tiny, but it is not the market. Like if you were to go to Texas map and be like, hey, where's the best market for this particular concept? Probably not it. But yeah, relatively small to Austin. But about 6 months to a year into the business being open, I kind of had a mental switch where I was like, oh, this entrepreneurship thing, like I could build something and make money and like and do not just money, but like I could do something that I want to do and build something great that happens to make money and scale and do all these things. And I slowly realized that like the opportunity here, not in Temple, but like the opportunity in this business model and this industry was not like ideal. Like, could it work? Yes, it could work, but it's not ideal. Like I didn't have any examples in the industry that was like, oh, they're killing it. They're living a life that I want to live. And so it was difficult to like point to something and be like, hey, that's where I want to go. So having said all that, if I were to have opened it in Austin, I think it would have dragged on longer. I think I would have not wanted to, because I know everybody here, or I know a lot of people here in Austin. I know a lot of the people in the industry here are much more kind of like tied into the pipeline of craft beer stuff. And so I think it would have been a much more difficult experience to close it down in Austin than in Temple. And so I am thankful that I kind of distanced myself and got that perspective and then decided to close, because it's tough. It's tough to close a business. It's tough to make that decision. But once I made it, I was like, yeah, dude, that's it. I'm in Toronto. There's probably more than 100K people in a 2x2 city block. Holy shit. That's how they just up. Just have high rises. It was all driving traffic to your place too. Yeah, I mean, the traffic, I mean, there's obviously like it was mostly locals with the clientele, but it's so loaded. It's so hard to answer. Like, yeah, condos everywhere. That's crazy. 2x2 city block, 100K people. It's weird because there's so many nuances, but the bullet points are okay. Not a giant city. Great. Plenty of businesses that succeed in not giant cities. I opened a brewery that was very, 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 very niche. So it wasn't like we're a craft brewery. or we're a craft brewery that focuses on IPAs and all modern craft. It was like, no, we are a craft brewery, already polarizing in Temple, Texas. That is not a craft brewery focused town that focuses on not all the popular styles that new craft beer entrants are interested in. We focus on very, very particular lagers with a subset of lagers within the bigger lager schema that only craft beer nerds would know. So the concept was very limited. And then it was like I wanted to do beer. I didn't want to do restaurant. I didn't want to do entertainment. I didn't want to do all the other things. So ultimately, it came down to me saying, these are not things that I'm willing to do. So it's my fault. Like I made the choice, like I am not willing to do the things that are required to make the business succeed here. And I just accepted that and was like, yeah. There's a brewery here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina called Lesser Known. I've heard of it. If you're ever in the area, you'd love it. They focus mostly on lagers and art. Always have at least one Czech lager served on Lucre. That's dope. Natural carbonation, no finding agents at all. It's awesome. I would love it. I think the other thing that kind of weighed on me near the end was I loved the idea that I had in my head, which sounds so vain. That's like, as I'm saying it, I'm like, that sounds so vain and pretentious. But I love the idea that I had in my head when I was thinking of Tanglefoot, because Tanglefoot started, for anybody that wants to see some inside baseball, Tanglefoot started out of a there was my family's barbecue restaurant, and my dad and I had talked about, oh, jokingly, let's put a brewery in there. So there was this faint idea of like it could happen. And then it started getting into what concept would I build? And so I had a couple of different ideas, a concept, whatever. And then I stumbled upon Czech lagers, and I was like, okay, I love this. And Tanglefoot was this idea of this like old Western saloon, like literally transport yourself to a Western saloon with a long standing bar and pots that you spit in and piss in and a brass rail. And like that was the idea. But instead of just whiskey, it was Czech lager, because Western saloons are this like Americana thing, but Czech lager is this like infamous beer culture that is, you know, a large proportion of the people in the state, in the area that I opened it up, are Czech. And so I was like, oh, these two things kind of go together. And so the idea that I had in my brain was, I just think is amazing. Like, I want that to exist in the world. I want to walk into that place and be like, yeah, give me a fucking, give me a Milko, give me a Hladinka, or just a heavy foam poured beer in a mug that is warmer than cold room temp, and it's delicious, and I'll stand here and talk to my friends. So that was the idea, and I made it exist. Like, I made it happen in the little bar that I opened it initially, and then realized that I had to make it a business and that it would be interesting to make it a business, and just realized that I'd painted myself into a corner of like, hey, I've built my whole identity on this being this very like specific experience that I want to exist in the world, but does that make it a good business model? No. So that's another rant for you. You have a similar dream, except it's a new shed in the backyard of some brewery bar. Do it, man. Fucking do it. Do it. If you have a dream at all, do it. Doesn't matter. Like, I said, I was gonna say, I tell people this all. I don't tell people shit. I tell myself all the time that I started and did something that was fucking awesome and made an impact on the beer community. However small, it made an impact on people I know, people I don't know, people that are on this live stream. And that was enough until my priorities changed. And once my priorities change, it's a different story. It's like I don't need to try to fit that into a mold and make it try to be something that my new priorities require. But I did something I wanted to do and I brought it to life. So I highly recommend, if you have a dream, whatever it is, just fucking do it. Go out, take action on it, build your bar, invite people over. I think it's dope. I got to hunt out a Lucre tap pour. Yeah, I don't know what, I mean, you'd probably know better than anybody here. What's up in Canada? Who's doing Lucre pours up in Canada? Also, I appreciate y'all hanging out. This is nice. Even though there's 4 people in here, it's great. Good little Thursday. My brother is coming in town tomorrow, and I'm very excited about it. I haven't hung out with him one-on-one in a while. If I do, I might start a YouTube channel and document it. You should, dude, for real. Again, this is another one of my dreams. I was like, I have to start a YouTube channel. I got to talk about it. Just do it. It's so, I will tell you from experience, there's not, like, it seems, all these things seem hard and difficult. Just do them, because there's nothing more difficult than not knowing what you want to do, which is where I'm at now, which is very, very, very hard. Like, knowing what you want and just having to, like, face uncertainty, that shit is easy. Like, being like, oh, I want to start this little bar and I want to do a YouTube channel, and that's such a dream. You just said what you have to start the bar and you have to do the YouTube channel. Just fucking do it. It's so simple. Go do it and you'll never regret it. For me, I'm now in a point where I'm like, I pursued my dreams. And now I'm like, I don't know what I want to do specifically. Like, I know that I want to start a business and I want to make money, but I don't know what I want to do specifically. And that's so much harder than knowing what you want. And so if you know what you want, just go do it. It's simple as that. It sounds trite. It sounds like cliche to, well, just go do the thing. Fire up your live stream. And like me, I have whatever. You've been following me. I've got 2,700 subscribers on here, whatever. The first 10 minutes, there were 0 people on here, and I was still talking this shit because I care about it. This is me. Like, this is not an act. This is not a performance. If ever you see me in public, you come up to me and say, what's up? I will be hopefully exactly the same. So just do it. Turn on the camera, start your bar, make the beer, get the plan. Yeah, it is interesting. Oh, yeah. Get it. Fucking get it, dude. It's a guitar pick shape. No, it wasn't. It was never a guitar pick shape. If you have a computer, go Google Pearl Brewery, like 1970s, 1980s. The Pearl Brewery had a logo that was pretty much a rough shape of what the Tanglefoot logo was. And I always liked that shape for whatever reason. And I obviously I like created it independently, so it wasn't like a direct blatant ripoff. But there's a vintage Pearl logo that has a very similar shape, and I was like, okay, that's what I want to do. I want to make it blue. I want that kind of cursive lettering, almost Disney-like. Gonna do some more cooking vids. That's something else I want to get better at. Yeah, I am. I appreciate the feedback because It's another thing of me telling you, oh yeah, just go do it. Yeah, I just got to do it because I have all these limiting beliefs around it. Like, hey, I don't want to go and put another video up on the Tanglefoot channel that isn't aligned with craft beer, but who fucking cares, man? Like, if people don't want to be subscribed, they can unsubscribe. And if I put up another craft beer video, then there you go. Best of both worlds. So just do it all. I'm going to take your advice, Matt, and I'm going to go make a cooking video potentially tomorrow with my brother because I think it's important. Follow through with that shit. Also, if you're not on, or if you are on TikTok, you don't follow me, Andy Martinek on TikTok. I post every single day. And it's nothing special, but every now and then I'll post a cooking video. What's your favorite Czech lager you can buy in the States? Good question. Tanglefoot, 12 degree. JK. Can't buy it anymore. I don't really, I mean, the only Czech lager that I have available at like my local supermarket is Czech Var or Pilsner Urquell. There are, I mean, locally, there's a couple here and there, but I would say Pilsner Urquell, honestly. There's a dude who just does small brewery tours. Nice. He doesn't even brew. What's the channel? Drop it. I'll look it up. I'm into it. I'm actually like I still watch a lot of beer stuff. I still am engaged. I think about beer and talk about beer with people. I mean, most of my friends, to be honest, are from the beer industry, so I like am still relatively intertwined. Totally downloaded all those recipes. Good. Do it. Download that shit. I got plenty more. I have plenty of other recipes that aren't lager, but tons of sauce. Yeah, Czech Var is good. I think it's hard. It's hard with like mass produced Czech lager because there is something to be said like fresh lager, which can mean something different to different people, but like fresh lager that is in the like very young side of it being brewed, most people would be like deem it not appropriate for serving. I like that shit. I like it to be a little hazy, a little yeast, kind of like a what do you call it? Like a Keller beer, little yeast, a little sulfur, a little less refined. Then it ages and it clarifies and gets better and better and better. Then it gets real clean and gets real clean and then drops out super bright and then it gets almost too clean and then it gets a little old and stale. So I like it more on the younger side personally. And that's why it's so nice to be around places that are producing it regularly. I think the Denoid, isn't Steam Whistle a Czech lager? I think it's a Czech Pils. I think that's their whole thing. But yeah, I mean, I prefer younger lager personally. I prefer younger IPA. It's Pils for sure. I'm pretty sure it's a Czech Pils, or at least like in the style of Czech Pils. Here's a fun fact because I said I was going to go cook dinner like an hour ago, and I probably should. But here's a fun fact before I decide to end the stream in the next handful of minutes. I have a can here. Try it and let me know what you think. Try it. Give me some tasting notes. I brewed a Mexican lager at the brewery that I've been working at, that I've been brewing at. And for the longest time, it was kind of like a whatever. Mexican lager is kind of this weird amorphous thing that There are some similarities between American lagers, but like the yeast strain and the process, whatever. Never really dived too deep into it. And then I started to dive deep into it for this particular recipe. And I use this particular strain of yeast, dry yeast, and was excited about seeing the differences because it is essentially the same malt bill as an American lager, like a Coors or whatever, mostly pills and like 10 to 20% corn. And the yeast completely changed it, obviously, made it a Mexican lager. So highly recommend. Use the yeast that is appropriate for the style, as always. Don't use a generic lager yeast for the Mexican lager, and similarly, don't use generic lager yeast for a Czech lager. I see it's good, but I don't like buying it here in Toronto because the same price all over Canada. What does that mean? Does Toronto have different pricing? Interesting. Well, it's been dope hanging out with you. There's 6 people in here. Who else is in here? Drop a comment. Let me know. It just seems close for the price. Got it. Do you do these live streams regularly? No, I don't. I literally jumped on here because I did a live stream on another platform and was like, you know what? I've got things to say. I have thoughts. And I was drinking a beer. But I may do them more frequently. I feel like the more that I talk about the channel and the more that I talk about things that I want to do with content, the more it kind of all roads lead back to just put out whatever on the Tanglefoot channel. And yeah, no, 2 beers. I had the Stone IPA, and then I had the what does it say? King of beers. This is the king. One whole king of beers. Which if you don't like Budweiser and you haven't had it in a while, go try it. It is a solid beer. Not the best, not the worst. Been so long. It is Saz. Nice. Yeah, I want to go check it out. I want to get a. I probably should get some Czech beers, some local Czech beers, or not local, but like some Czech beers that are sold here to see what they're tasting like. Much different experience in the Czech Republic, in these breweries or near these breweries where it's fresh, like older, aged, fined beer is not the same. It just isn't the same. Their tours are cool. If you're in Toronto, dude, if I'm ever in Toronto, I'll go check them out. I like that brand. Oh, well, I gotta say, this I intended on getting on here for like 10 minutes and just kind of blasting out. Do I know the Craft Brew channel? Of course. Yeah, they're good. I like their stuff. I like everybody's stuff. It's only a couple people that I really, really, really hate, and it's me, myself, and I. I'm just kidding. Thanks for the live stream. I've enjoyed your channel on the Passion for Beer. Good to hear what you got up to. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, Ken. Yeah, I only meant to jump on here for a few minutes and talk about beer since I I don't know. I was drinking a beer. But it's been awesome chatting with Denoid and Gene and Matt and everybody and Ken. Appreciate you. Yeah. I'd love to continue to carry the torch for not just Czech lager but craft beer. I think about that a lot. But again, I'm trying to make a life, trying to make some things happen. So hopefully the two can align, but I will be on this channel regardless. So I appreciate, Denoid, appreciate you, man. I'm assuming you're a man, but if not, appreciate you. Been great. And I'll be on here again, do some more live streaming, especially if I feel froggy and want to talk for a while and hold my bladder for a long time. I keep forgetting this is the camera, by the way. If you haven't noticed, I keep looking right here at my screen because I think I'm talking to myself, but it's been awesome. Appreciate y'all. I'll be on again probably sooner than later and hopefully not at such a random time of day. And hope you all have a great night. Go drink some craft beer. Go drink a Stone IPA. They have my endorsement. I know they need it because, IPAs are out. I haven't been getting the Hoppy Hour in my feed. If those guys are still going, you should hit them up. I don't think they are. I haven't seen them post in a while, but maybe they are. Either way, yeah, maybe I'll do a little live stream collab something. But appreciate y'all. Y'all are dope. Have a good night. Cheers.